happening?
I'm re-recording. I'm stopping it right now. That was terrible.
All right.
Part two. Do we even announce that? No. Double record,
Nah.
same day. Fuck.
Double
We're on.
record same day. Saves us a bit.
Um,
Um,
bit
you
more
go.
of just a yarn. This one, the odd topic here and
Yeah.
there.
Get a cuppa, a warm rug, put down the
Uh,
book, and listen to us.
uh, couldn't think of anything better to do to round out your
Honest.
long weekend.
That's it. Just
Still got my
quickly, I
coffee.
know
It's a
we
bit cold.
already talk about sport, but the doggies won 30-12, and Pies won by a point to the D's. Thanks,
In a
Corny.
good game. Fucking crazy. Um, what we thought we'd talk about today, because everyone's seen some horrific tattoos in their time. We would like to talk about some of the worst tattoos we've ever seen. And what jogged my thought process on this, your dad's got a good one, but my girlfriend's mum has been a nurse for 35 years, and she was explaining one that a patient of hers had dyed her pubic region nice and green, let the bush grow, and got a tattoo with an arrow pointing down saying, "Do not touch the grass." And it got the brain thinking, what could be any more worse than a tattoo like that?
I
Um,
know I've got some pretty wild things on my body, but that is just
so
ridiculous.
what topped the cake from that? She was having a child, and it was either she was having the child and she needed a C-section, or something happened and she had to get a surgery down there. And the doctor, the surgeon, had to shave the hairs, and then with texture wrote, "Sorry, had to mow the lawn." So she got out of
Jesus
surgery and
Christ.
went home and saw that. So I thought that
Not
was
bad,
pretty funny.
surgeon.
Tops to the surgeon. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Explain some of yours. Have you got any bad ones?
On my body. Where do I start?
Oh,
Well, we'll start with my own personal body. You've tattooed my leg
I
before
have.
during the COVID days.
That was good too. Why'd you
Oh,
get rid of that?
yeah, it is now covered up by one of those Russian dolls that pop go from large to small. But I guess we can say it now. We were hanging out during the lockdown,
Yes.
and
Arrest me.
uh, one of our friends had a tattoo gun. I'd already tattooed my foot, a sad ghost, and a couple beers later, it was your turn to operate the machine, and you tattooed two arrows like that and said SYED on it. So I had my name tattooed on my leg
It
for,
wasn't
I don't
actually
know,
that bad. It was
for
not
two
actually that
years.
bad. Had it
Uh,
there for
uh,
no, no. You would have had it longer than that. You only got that
two,
done up this year, didn't you?
no, I got it a while ago.
Oh, you got. Oh, right.
Um, I do have the no rugrats on me leg instead of no regrets. That was
Did you
a
still have the
healthy.
the king and
I still got
king
the
knee?
king and queen, king knee queen.
Can
That
you
was just
can
the
we can you
drunken.
show that?
I
Is
don't
that
think I
is your
can.
camera gonna pick it up?
My hairy legs. You'll probably. No, I don't think it will. Nah, I don't.
Nah,
I'll
that's
probably
alright.
fall over, knock the
The
table
story to
over.
that's funny. You were just a
But
single man at the time, wanting to find a woman, and
and
we
thought
thought if we put a king, was it a
king
crown or did
knee.
you write kings
No, it just says king, and then my
and then the
knees in the middle,
knees and then
and then
a queen?
queen
So
underneath.
king
So
king
knees,
needs his
queen.
queen. That's so bad. Now I
The
don't know
dumbest
why we
fucking
thought that
thing.
was. We thought that was
But
hilarious at the time.
but the tattoo now, just seeing king and queen on your leg, no one obviously knows, and it's just a normal tattoo now.
Yeah, and then the other
But
one,
I've
the no
seen,
regrets, that was pretty good. As Rugrats.
yeah, I got the Rugrats logo with no. It says pretty much no kids, but I do want kids, which is a bit silly. But I know a bloke that got a tattoo of Jesus doing doggy to Jesus, and underneath it it says Jesus fucking Christ.
Would you like to share with us who that bloke is?
Nah, I'll keep that one silent. I don't think this dude would actually care. He's a loose unit, but yeah, that's a bloody wild one. There's this other bloke, don't know him. I back when I was splicing, I had to do this job at a it was a dump to change one of their belts, and this dude had tattoos all over him, but he was like real grubby looking. Obviously, he works at a dump, but on his middle finger, he had a cock and balls just tattooed on his finger. So he just had a dick showing the
What the
whole
fuck?
time.
That's
Yeah,
atrocious.
there are
I
some wild ones out there,
well, my
especially the
dad.
people that go for those realistic ones.
Ooh,
They're
they're
tough.
touch and go. If
If your
you
artist ain't good, you're in some strife.
Wiley's going in to get a tattoo done. I wonder if I could Google it because there is a design on Google. Um, baby wolf tattoo. I wonder if I could
I mean, I
find
can
an
show the
image
one on
of
my
it.
stomach. A drunken night on a farm, and you let someone with a tattoo go and get you. Squidward's house.
Oh, that's terrible.
I've planned to get that one covered, but why not?
I reckon. Here we go. Can I share my screen? I can. Which is what we need to do anyway to show off some of these. Um, can you see that
That's
now?
ah yes, the baby wolf,
And then the
and the
reflection showing the adult.
is that
So
what he's getting? It
that's what
almost
he's
reminds
getting.
me of, do you know how in like what was it, like 2016 to 2018, blokes were getting the outline of the forest.
The forest, or there would be the
Yeah,
one with the roses that would go around a clock. Do you
there's
remember that one
still
as well?
roses, clocks, and lines seem to be the very
Ibiza final
common thing.
boss type fucking tattoos, those ones. But I think Wiley's going to get some arrows because the wolf
That's
has taken some damage over the years. I think that's his idea.
I like it. Is there a
So,
meaning behind it? Because I can't say anything because my tattoos are just spur of the moment things I
no, I
like.
just think because he's get like the whole. Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole meaning is just going through your battles and then still coming out on the other side. I think for him.
Well, that's
So,
what I was going to get a tattoo like that. We'll go back into the bad tattoos in a second, but I was going to do a Slipknot thing where I think I heard something. This could be false, or I must have heard somewhere else. But before we get into the McFuckface, um, the Slipknot boys, I think they created their mask on how I know they feel on the inside or something. So they're demons, and I was going to get in my dark years. I was going to get some messed up looking face tattooed on my back. That could have made this podcast as the
that
list.
could have made the podcast. Were you thinking of an actual Slipknot mask as the backdrop for a tattoo?
Not their mask. I was going to come up with my own
Yeah, okay.
hell looking face. So then that's my mask.
Yep.
Which would have, thinking back now, having that randomly on my back would have just been fucking horrendous.
An actual disaster, to be honest. That would have been horrible. Um,
There's another bad tattoo I've actually seen. So I was working with this bloke for a couple of weeks, and then it was just something I was like, "Hey, could you lift this?" Helped me, and he lifted up, and I saw his shirt lift up, and I saw his stomach, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I could see these two perfect round things. I was like, "What's your tattoo on your stomach?" Lifts it up. It's a perfect 6 pack of beers, like
oh
cans
my
of beers.
god.
He's just got a 6 pack of beers tattooed on his stomach, like the tops of the.
Just the
I was
tops,
like,
like the lids, the
just
can lids.
yeah, just the top, so you can see the where you open it. It's like that. I thought I
Dad,
had some wild tats,
that's fucking horrendous. Dad had
and you're
a
talking about big fucking tat too.
covered half the stomach.
Yeah, like where your 6 pack would be. That's how big these can lids were.
Oh my god,
He
that's
wasn't
fucking
mucking
atrocious.
around.
Imagine that at the beach, seeing that walking past
Oh,
you. Dad had a mate that he played footy with, and they won the grand final, and everyone got. I think most of the players got like the little tattoo of the logo with the year they won the premiership. I think some got it on their ass, some got it on their ankle. Dad's mate comes out and they go, "Oh, where's your tattoo?" And he lifts up his shirt, and right above his groin, sort of lower stomach, was an arrow pointing down, and it said, "No fat chicks allowed." And that's what
oh
he
my
just had stuck there.
God.
Not sure if it's lasered off, but by all accounts, his now current wife is quite large. So
Well,
didn't really work out
lasers,
for him too well.
lasers pretty common these days. It's not hard
Big
to get
time.
it lasered off.
Yeah, like you did a couple of times. Oh, did you laser or did you just get it drawn over the top?
I've been covered over, but I'll
Yeah,
eventually laser. The one I showed on my stomach, they'll probably get lasered.
lasered
And there's
off.
a few others that will get zapped away, so I can get more stickers.
I'll I found these online and I thought that these would probably be some of the worst ones that I ever saw. I'll I'll get them up for you. Let's screen share again, and I just
Some
want
of the
your
most.
thoughts.
Alright, I'll cover my eyes. Tell me when to go.
All right, here's the first one.
Oh,
Now this is a two-parter. Imagine you finally had your first child. Let's dissect
it,
this.
it's
You've
either
had your
that
first
fella
child.
dead.
You've given birth to a beautiful girl. You go into the tattoo artist and you want to get her name on your body with the face. They peel her and that's what you see. Are you not just clocking the fucking tattoo artist straight in the fucking mouth?
Yeah,
That is
that's
horrific.
the only way you could save it is getting rid of the name and then just a zombie baby, I guess.
Yeah, you're trying to turn that into like Michael Jackson Thriller or something, aren't you, by that
Mm.
stage, or Left for Dead? And
That Pussy Eater one, I could tell people I've technically got it, you just can't see it.
the caterpillar, does it tickle a
Um,
little bit? No, actually, we won't go there.
if he doesn't, no, if that can't grow a mustache, then that's
He's in
fucked.
big strife.
Right.
That's got Boner
Especially.
Garage. That's got No Fat Chicks Allowed. That's got right up there with those. But at least with like a Boner Garage or a tramp stamp, you can cover it with clothing. What is
And
that?
with those teardrops too, looks possibly prison.
Yeah. Do we have
So
a feeling that that's a prison tat and he's been pinned down against his will?
it should say cocksucker.
Let's get back into the colonoscopy stories. That's
No,
fucked.
search up MS-13 gang tattoos because they're covered head to toe. They just look like coloring in books.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
they don't muck around with their gang. I shouldn't say that because if this podcast ever got big, no, they heard me say that, they'd
We could die.
skin me.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, they don't muck around their tattoos.
That's
Well, I guess they
insane.
do. They do muck around, but
Is that
a
James
lot of
Boyd? I'll do another slow reveal for you. Close your eyes for the second one.
you better keep your clothes on.
Now, this is going on with the kids. Now, reveal.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, that's
Those
like
eyes are like mine.
one
Fucking
of
all over the place. What is that?
the
This
other
kid's got
one's
a
got
black
like
eye. Did they beat the
yeah,
kid before they took
it's like
this?
he's played rugby league and his eyes are swollen over.
He needs about 15 grand worth of dental work at the front. His nose has been fractured 17 times. He's got a broken skull. It's causing a droopy eyelid. And his jaw, like, he might as well be wearing a knight's helmet. That's how
Surely,
fucking
if
straight and pointy
you
that
know
is.
you can't draw, you wouldn't go, oh yeah, I can tattoo you.
Do you reckon that this is the apprentice? Just giving it a crack?
I reckon this is just the the tattoo parlor. What's the one eating a sock?
Whoa, what is that?
No, it's its tongue. It's got like an ulcer on it.
Oh, that's what happens. You know what it looks like? It looks like a stick, like a bit of bark. What is going on? I can't believe that. And do you know what that looks
Gave him
like?
a
The kid
bad.
from Toy Story.
Yeah, it does. Sid.
Sid, that's fucked.
What's
All
the
right.
the thumb?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, the problem is we could just keep clicking all of. Oh my
Fuga.
God, what is that?
I reckon that one was obviously meant to be that.
That I feel like that's supposed to be the egg.
Mm.
All right, I've got another slow reveal for you. I need the
Alright.
closed eyes again. I need your thoughts. All right, three. Oh, actually, no reveal anyway because you already saw it. I accidentally revealed
Oh.
earlier.
See, this gives me crackhead energy because you usually do see crackheads with the wild McFuck face.
So
He's
clearly
got.
he knows he's receding.
Yep,
So very
he's aware
bravely,
of that.
it looks like this bug has been eating away at his hair. So
He's
not very
got a
smart.
spider web on the nostrils.
He
The
spiderweb on
cock.
the yep. Whatever that is that supposed to be a pigeon or a dove and it's just ejaculating into something?
Um, I
It looks like
believe
he tried here.
doesn't Steve-O have that cock with wings on his body?
Steve. Yeah, I think he does. I think he might actually. We should look at. Oh my God.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild the further you scroll.
I don't know if I can keep scrolling. That. Oh, what is that? Oh no. There's just no way these are real. Who's getting Elon Musk tattooed on their stomach? That's on his ribs. That's one of the most painful areas to get a tattoo, and you're getting
Oh, it
fucking
looks like
Elon
there's
Musk.
a fucking a nutsack on the dude's jaw or jaw chin.
It's probably Donald Trump's nuts. Have you seen what's going on with Trump and Elon at the moment?
Yeah, they're bickering like high schoolers.
It's fucking weird. I think it's over a bill that's just come out apparently. Um,
I've
Elon's
only
not too happy.
recently got Twitter back.
What is
Oh,
this?
I
That's
lost for
African tribal.
words. See, I don't get why people want to look like that.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
Like
What's the
when you
thought behind it?
take that all off, they got loose
Ha!
skin.
Hannibal Lecter? That is diabolical. I can't believe any of that. That is
That is,
ridiculous.
yeah. Some people need to stay away from the gun. There was a stage where I should have stayed away from the gun myself.
At least you were still kind of
But
smart enough to hide majority of it. Like a
yeah,
lot
all
of
of
them,
mine's
you could
been
put socks over, you could put a shirt over,
yeah.
long enough pair of pants, you're not seeing anything.
Well,
Um,
that's it.
so I don't know. Some of yours weren't too bad at all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Now what else
would
did
you
you
like
want to
to?
talk about?
Well, I could rabble on for ages, but we'll only do a quick 20 minutes. Um, well, I wanted to talk about this ages ago, but we were pretty busy. This bloody Annabelle doll that's gone on tour has really not bothered me, but got me got my attention, I should say. So I'll lay down the. Everyone knows the Annabelle movies. All that. Obviously, the movies are just Hollywood with their effects trying to scare you and everything. But I do believe in obviously the paranormal. I'm pretty open with all that ruckus. But the doll is real. There's stories of people fucking with the doll and on their way home after seeing it dying. Um, and Ed and Lorraine Warren. Yes, they're a bit controversial. I have listened to many podcasts on how Ed might have been a bit of a pedophile, and some of their stories could have been completely false. They could have all been false, but there's some good indicators that some were true, some weren't. They were just almost money hungry in the paranormal game, and the only ones back then who were famous enough to obviously do the works. And they've both obviously passed away now, and I think the daughter and her partner, who's a ghost hunter or something, have decided to take this thing on tour, which baffles me. It's
I don't know why
this.
you would want this anywhere near you. Rach, in her wardrobe where all her clothes are, if you actually look above in the extra storage compartment above, she has a heap of those styled old dolls, and we have to turn them facing the wall. We cannot look at them at all. She has heaps of like porcelain dolls and old dolls up there, and it's like they're horrific. I can't deal with
Any
dolls. They're
freaky
absolutely
business in the
fucked.
household?
Yes. So, um, don't know if it's doll related. I think there's just basically a dead person walking around in the home. Couple of stories that have happened in that house. One was because theirs is quite a long house. You've been there. You know how
Mm.
really long it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Dora's at the front of the house in her office doing some work, and she could hear banging and clanging in the kitchen for about an hour, as if Joseph, her son, was cooking a meal. Could hear stuff turning on in the kitchen, and the fan was on, and could smell food. Blah blah blah. Then all of a sudden, Joseph walks in the door, like walks through the front door, and she goes, "Weren't you just cooking?" And he goes, "No, I've been out all day." And they go in the kitchen, and it's perfectly clean, but she literally just heard cooking going on for about an hour. Then
Yeah.
Rach had one, comes home from work, walks in, hears a door close in her mum's room, sort of turns and looks, and as she turns and looks, she sees a leg walk across. So she just think, oh, must have been Zane sort of getting out of the shower, realised someone come home, so he's just ducking behind, so he doesn't obviously get seen naked. Proceeds to like get home, drop her bag off, do what she needs to do, and then heard the door open, and then another one closed and some footsteps. And then she's
Mm.
called, so she's like called, because she's called out and said, Mum, Zane, Joseph, like who's there, blah, blah, blah. No one respond. So she calls Zane, no answer, calls the mum. She picks up and she goes, oh, are you guys home? Is anyone home? She goes, no, no, we've been out for dinner for the past couple of hours. So there's
Spooky.
definitely something going on in that house for sure. Don't know if it's doll related, but there's definitely some ghost experiences in that house.
Well, I'll lay some stories on in a second, but back to this Annabelle doll. It visited old plantation where the slaves obviously was constructed by slaves. I'm pretty sure in New
Yep.
Orleans. Just so happens the day it visits and the day it dips. I think the next day the whole place burnt down. I
Like,
know
what the
everyone's saying
fuck?
coincidence, but that's pretty like what the hell. There were rumors that it disappeared, the doll, but I think they got debunked. But I've always said you don't mess around with that type of ruckus because you don't.
No.
No one knows if it's true or not, but I believe in it. Uh,
The worst
funny enough,
is, oh, you go, you go.
no, I was just about to tell a story. You go quick.
I was just going to say the worst thing with any of those dolls or any paranormal event is anything involving a mirror where you think you see something. That stuff freaks
Well,
me out.
apparently mirrors are gateways to different dimensions.
Yep.
So I've heard.
Yep. I can
Because
semi believe that.
as a kid, Mum used to say, never look in a mirror at night, or else your reflection's going to reflect in a different way.
Yeah.
And then she
Um,
told me this doll story as a kid. Apparently, there was, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what details, but I think people moved into a house and they could hear footsteps. They would go into clean bedrooms and things were moved around, and then all this weird stuff kept happening. Obviously, stuff was moving. I think they went looked up in the attic, just I don't know, because they new house and they found the doll. I'm like, oh, took it out and just stuck it in the kids' room, and I think the steps and the noises were getting pretty bad to the point where I think they left the kid in the bedroom with the doll, and all of a sudden the kid screamed really bad, and they kept trying to get rid of it or something, and it just kept appearing and appearing. So then they said, "Fuck this," and they went to a place, and when they lit the thing on fire, it screamed like a woman.
Oh my god, nah. I'm
And
not copping that.
mum told me that when I was probably not even 10. And that fucking yeah, thanks mum for that one. I still remember the fucking story.
Yeah, fuck that. Like, I had
It's scary
one. I
stuff.
was I was explaining this the other night as well. Um, Edithburg, which I think a couple of hours out of the city in South Australia. It's real country. Um, Old sort of 1800 styled house, and
Mm.
big long hallway. So sorry, I'll take it where the original front of the house was. Big long hallway, two rooms right at the front, and down the hallway down the end was another room where all the kids, like, they had little bunk beds and stuff, and then they had laundry and bathroom all down the end. Where they'd done an add-on, like a big extension and reno, they'd added a living space and a kitchen. So we majority hung out in the kitchen living space, and nothing ever happened there. And anyway, night one, down that end of the house where the kids' bedroom was and where the toilet and that was, me and my brother and were staying in one of the rooms, and my sister and mum were staying in the other. And we could hear just like balls being thrown and like kids laughing and like running up and down the hallway. So much so that at one stage, mum yelled out, "Can you guys stop bouncing the ball? We're trying to go to sleep." And me and Ethan said, "No, we can hear that too. It's not us." And she came in and we're like, "Where's the ball? Like, can't see anything."
Mm.
So that was freaky. Later in the night, Jay and mum were asleep and the door just shot open. And then, so they both woke up, and then they just heard laughing and the footsteps going back down the hallway. No one there. And
Yeah,
then for
fuck
like
that.
literally throughout the night, I think I'd woken up and I could hear like just footsteps down there, and like no one was going to the toilet, no one was up. It was just literally,
Yeah,
we could all hear these footsteps go. It was bad,
fuck
bad.
that.
And so that's probably the most full on one that we've had, because all four of us sort of had to deal with it. That was pretty full on.
Yeah, probably one of my best ones was with. I've told a few people this story, and you probably already heard it. Is when we went for this. So back in Salix, Bowen and I were iconic. I think people knew we were known for going on these late night treks. Not
Yep.
doing drugs or drinking, we just went on these adventures at like midnight. It was just
Yeah.
what we did.
1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Um, so we went for this walk. I remember we got to the beach and walked down the stairs and started walking on the beach. And then the beach we were at, it goes sand and pebbles. We heard this lad, well, we heard something slide down the pebbles.
Yep.
Both turned back looking. Obviously, there was no fear in the world because you get pretty common to going down that beach late and you see oldies walking dogs. People are always on that beach. So we turned back, nothing there. Oh, so be it. There could be someone in the distance that we can't see. Walked along the beach for ages, and then we got to the next set of stairs. Um, your camera just went out. Oh, there we go. We got to the next set of stairs where we're walking up the stairs, and we could hear something in the bushes next to us. Once again, we looked, nothing there. And then, oh, this is a different story, but on those same set of stairs we're walking up one night, we both looked up and there was a man walking down midway through the steps, and we looked at each other, looked back, and he was gone.
Yeah. No.
But that was another night. I remember we rushed up there. There was no one there, so we just saw a random dude coming down looked at each other and he was gone. But this same set of stairs, we've heard two things. We get to the next part, and then we go along this back road, which is pretty much lights where the houses are, and it's pretty much pitch black till you get to the end where there's a light. So you, I don't know, close to almost a K of just darkness. And we got to the top, and we were pretty notorious for just sitting down, laying down, looking at the stars because it was pitch black. Being in almost the southern side of Adelaide, see all the stars. We were there for a good, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then randomly we start smelling this dead, reeking smell. And then we look at each other and go, "Can you smell that?" And he goes, "Yeah, man." It slowly gets stronger and stronger, and then we can hear something in the bushes nearby. And then we kind of just look at each other and go, "Yeah, we both hear that. Let's get the fuck out of here." So as we're walking back down the main road to where our houses are, we start connecting the dots. So there was something on the stairs. There was something at on the pebbles. Something at the stairs. Something in the middle of the road. It's like we start to think, is something following us? And then we get to where the bus stop was, and then we hear this thing sprinting on the fence line, running through the grass, backwards and forwards. We're looking, you can hear it, but you can't fucking see it. We shit ourselves. Sprint, shook hands, said, "Message me when you get home." Parted ways, but there was something sprinting backwards and forwards in the grass, like in front of us, but we could not see what the fuck it was. And it was like, I got fucking goosebumps fucking telling it now. It was like,
That's
there is
fucked.
something's fucking following us. This whole thing, something like must have seen us, and it wouldn't have been an animal or human because it started way
Lit-
back.
That's fucked. That is fucked.
Yeah.
Didn't we have a night? Now you might still have the audio recording in your phone, maybe, but didn't you have a night where we got really drunk and we decided to go for a walk through the scrub and just try and do a podcast? But then something we had happened in there and we sprinted and went away.
Oh,
Was,
was that when we found that
was that
abandoned
with you?
house? I know we
We
no,
what?
we did do a podcast.
I
It
remember
was a
clearly
shitty
talking
on a
about like
phone.
on a phone
I
trying to
don't.
while we're walking. We were trying to
Yeah, I
talk
know
about
there was.
Mike Tyson and who's the goat of
Yeah,
boxing and
no,
all that.
yeah, I was with you at that one.
Didn't we get separated because something happened and we sprinted away?
Yeah, I think something scared us and we ran away.
I can't remember what it was. I wish I could remember what it was. I remember having a really this is not really paranormal, but speaking of that scrub that something scared us, then going off what your story was, no word of a lie, one night with me, Indy, my good mate, and then Rama. Do you remember Rama? Um,
Yeah, I know of him.
we used to go to Kyle Gordon's house, which was right on the edge of Scrub at the time in Aldinga, and we went for a late night walk, a bunch of us. And so we walked down for a little while, and then it got to a point where me, Indy, and Rama were like, "Oh, let's walk back." So we were walking back, and this is no word of a lie. You could ask Rama and Indy as well. We dead set saw two guys with a boot open on the side of the road in what looked like a body bag or something in a bag, and they lifted it up and just threw it into the back of the car. And
Mm.
we're all like, let's fucking stand still for a second. And then as we were trying to backtrack, literally like a movie, because we're in Scrubland, Rama stepped on a branch and snapped it. And they turned, and one guy goes, like, "Oi!" Beelines at us while the other one gets in the car. We take off through the scrub and go running. We literally, so me and Indy did a massive loop back towards my house, which was like a 5 minute run, but you had to go through the scrub and through a couple of parks, so we sort of got out of there. Rama reckons at one stage he was running through the scrub and turned around and the guy was 5 meters away from him. So he
Fuck
kept
yeah.
running for literally like another 10, 15 minutes.
Stuff that.
We literally couldn't get a hold of him for half an hour. This is at 1:30 at night. And we're thinking, he's fucking been taken. And then randomly he messaged us and goes, "Guys, I made it to my house. Can you come over?" And so we waited another 10 minutes because we're like, what if the guy saw him go in there? So
Mm.
we're like, thought it'd be smart to wait. And then we rock up there, and we even had to like call him and be like, "All right, we're here now. Like, come and open the door." To be like, so we didn't knock and him think it's the dude.
Yeah.
And then just to top it off, after that scary event, we decided to play Slenderman for the next fucking hour at 2 o'clock in the morning, as you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fucked. It would 100% that happened. That was fucked.
That is scary, and it's almost humans chasing you.
Oh,
But go back to the paranormal. I used to live downstairs, and there was one morning. I could hear my little sister jumping off her bed and running up and down the hallway upstairs. And I was just sleeping. I was like, God, could she shut up? Because she just kept jumping and jumping and running across. And I looked at the time, it was like 9. I was like, why is she even home? So I finally just got up, and then when I opened the door, it was like front door was locked, dead silent. Called out mum's name, Patience's name.
no one's
Go for
home.
a little, yeah. Go upstairs. I'm the only one home.
That
I was
nah.
like, they're fucking
And that was the
something.
Selix house.
It's Alex house.
Yeah.
There
So
were
to
a few
give everyone
stories.
else as well with that, the stairs are literally right next to your bedroom door. So
Mm.
it's not a case of you just faintly heard something. That's like right there. And
I've
it's
got
so obvious.
recordings of noise, something running upstairs.
That is ridiculous.
Like
And
it,
what? Absolutely no one at home.
nah. The
Ah,
last
fuck that.
scary, I've actually got. Alright, I'll tell this other one, and I'll tell a quick, easy one. So I used to live upstairs in the room where I could hear the running,
Yep.
and I had it. Obviously, I was upstairs, and then the front yard was the veranda, which had my basketball hoop.
Yep.
And if I'd keep the glass door open, the wind would slam my door shut. But it would have had to been a decent bit of wind because my door used to scrape along the carpet.
Yep.
But this day, I was shooting hoops, and then all I heard was my door go bang, like slam, shut like something threw it hard. I was like, oh fuck, the wind. Looked up, and my glass door was actually shut.
Yeah. Fuck that.
So there was no way any wind could have possibly pushed it. And then there was another one where um, I went to Melbourne. That's when I was with you. Went to that festival. Come home for
Yep.
a week, and then I went to Mackay. I was home for a week by myself. Didn't go up. I went upstairs a few times to use the upstairs bathroom. Obviously, the lights and everything were off. I didn't go into my sister's room, my parents' room, and the other room. So I knew everything was turned off. Um, my day of leaving to go to the airport, it was a 4 something. Jump in my car. As I reverse up and look up, my sister's light, that room, that light was on,
That's
and I
no.
was like, and then I just told mum that light's staying on, and then my auntie who fed the dogs turned it off for me. I was like, I'm not going back in there. That
Yep.
light shouldn't be on. There's
Yep.
nothing would have fell because everything's shut. Like there's nothing bad, like scary that will do something, but there's something that lives in that room. There was another thing where we used to say the maracas because we heard this one night it was dead silent and we heard this like something like clicked its fingers 3 times. And then
Yeah.
there
I'm
was
not
this
dealing
another
with it.
in that same bedroom. I remember my uncle who used to he's only 4 years older than me. I had a single bed one side, he had another side. We were talking shit one night, and for some reason I had to have this balloon that I blew up and just tied up, and it used to just sit there. It used to just sit at a random part of the room, so it was full of breath, not helium. This one night we're talking, it literally floats up in the air, floats past him, and then slowly drops right next to me, and I just popped the fucking thing instantly. It's like what he'll say to this day is like that balloon had just sat there for almost a week doing nothing, and then it just randomly decided to float in the air. It wasn't like going like this. It just went from one side of the room, travelled, and then landed next to me, and I just popped the cunt and was like, "That's fucked."
That's fuck that, dude. There, you just can't. There's too much stuff that's happened to too many people
Mm.
to be like they're not real. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, 100%.
it literally can't be.
I can go on
Um,
for ages of the fucking counters because I used to try looking for the bastards, and it was when I wasn't is when it all happened.
mm, yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, too many instances at like completely sober times for everyone where you go,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that they're fucking real. They are fucking real. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
I'll just
Uh,
quickly finish on this other one because I know I'll probably wrap it up soon.
yep.
So this one night from footy training, I was at Ranella. Decided to walk home. Firstly, this is the scary part. There's a human part and a ghost part. So Mum wasn't picking me up because I didn't realise she was picking up our puppy, which I never knew. So I cut across. I was like, do I stick to the main road or cut to the park, to two parks? Well, there was actually three. It's like, fuck it, I want to get home quick. This first part, I was walking down the path and there was this large man watching me, and there was this little narrow footpath and bridge. And then the thing was, I was pretty aware. I had no music on. As I was getting closer to the bridge, this big dude starts proper pacing like he's approaching me, like he wants to get me, to the point where I clicked, realized, and I was, I don't know, 14. I was quick still. Fucking just sprinted across that bridge. I didn't even turn back, just sprinted. So this bloke pretty much tried to abduct me.
That's
Um,
fucked.
so I was already like nervous. Got to the second park, which is next to Ranella East School. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I was like, fuck it, I can't be on this road. I'm going through the second park.
You've told me the story, but continue.
Got to the park, and then as I'm walking, I look up, and there's this weird. It was like a human. I don't know what it was.
Figure.
And I like froze because it was like in the middle of the park, and then all of a sudden it just starts like swaying, and then the swaying stops, and then kind of like shoots across the park. I was I was like frozen. I was like, fuck. Sprinted to this next park. I was absolutely fearful, and then get to the third park, and I was like, no, 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 I can't do this. I take the main road. I start running, and then this car pulls up. Obviously, I fucking scream, and it's my mum. She said, get in the fucking car now. I quickly get in, and then she's trying to yell at me, and I just bust in tears, crying. And she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And my sister's like, look, I got a dog. I don't give a fuck about the dog. Like, I was absolutely crying. I was like, I almost got abducted, and there was something in that park. And she's like, what? Told mum the story. Like, there was a man, like, he was trying to get me, and she, like, was never late to training after that, but that was like an abduction fucking ghost story in one night.
And what's like, I had something kind of similar in a way, but I had a mate there with me, and it was late at night too, and typical kid sort of stuff at 13, 14 in school holidays, fucking around late at night while we are on a walk and stuff, and he'd thrown some rocks on a roof, just the typical, grab the gravel onto the roof.
Yeah.
In Aldinga, they're all tin roofs, so it's making a lot of noise. I run down this road, and this guy is like putting on his shoes, and he's like, "Oi, what are you kids doing?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing, nothing." Like blah blah blah, won't happen again, sort of thing. And he's like, "If I hear like one more roof, I'll come looking for you." And we're like, "Okay, yep, yep." And we walked down a bit further, and this is no word of a lie. It would have been 11:30 at night. This family, like mum, dad, grandma, and like four kids, are out the front of the house doing the gardening, and they literally have all their hoses. They're like trying to set up their hoses and like change the angles on all their plants. And as we walk past, they're like this.
Yeah, fuck that. That's
If we
that's
walk back down the other round, sorry, if we walk back the other way, there's the dad there that's just had a fucking go at us. But then we look to the other way to keep going, there's literally 50 kangaroos at the end of the road because it's right on the edge of the scrubland.
Yeah.
So we're like, would we rather take on the kangaroos, the Adams family, or that fucking old dude that's had enough of us already and he's screamed at us? So we walk through the kangaroos, walk around, get back onto the main road. And I don't know what happened here, but we're walking and Trav turns around and he's in front of me at this stage. So we're walking. He turns around, goes, Ryan, look out. And apparently he says a arm reached out to yank me. I just fucking did what you did. No turning back. I just fucking gunned it. And from that, like sprinted, we went up to a top of a park. And then what was then really bizarre is we waited, you know, at the front of my house, if you remember my house in the middle of Aldinga, that big park in the middle.
Yeah.
So we were waiting there. We look at one of the roads, these cars literally driving on both sides of the road. And they get to the end at the same time and they both go around. And then where my house was, it was like a boulevard. So it just did the classic like U shape at the end of the road.
Yeah.
Both cars came down the middle on the opposite sides and sort of met and stayed there for a little bit. And then both reversed and went back out at the same time. 100%.
The-
Reckon they were obviously trying to do the look around for us. And that was absolutely fucked. Don't know if there actually was a hand or someone there. But Trav said there was 100% someone trying to reach out. So that's fucked.
Fuck that.
So
Ooh.
not
Don't
paranormal to
listen
finish
this-
off.
Don't listen to this one before bed.
Yeah, maybe first thing in the morning on the way to work. But that was good.
Oh.
Should we
Yeah,
wrap it up there?
should we- Yeah, wrap it up there. I think my dinner's going cold.
Yeah, that was a quick 47 minutes in the end.
It was.
That was a
Oh.
good yarn.
It was.
All right, sir.
Easy.
We'll see you all later, folks.
Will do. Have a good one.
Peace.